Author's note. This video is my review of Spider Man Into the Spider-Verse, based on Spider Man by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, and Miles Morales by Brian Michael Bendis and Sarah Pichelli. Directed by Bob Persichetti, Peter Ramsey, and Rodney Rothman. Published by Sony Pictures, Columbia Pictures, Marvel Entertainment, and Pascal Pictures. Starring the voices of Shane McMoore as Miles Morales, Jake Johnson as Peter B. Parker, Haley Steinfeld as Gwen Stacy, John Mulaney as Peter Porker, Kimiko Glenn as Penny Parker, Nicolas Cage as the Spider-Man Noir, and Liev Schreiber as the Kingpin. Rated PG. Special thanks to Ghost of Time 1 and ScottishPride17 for their voices of Spider-Man and Deadpool. This review is dedicated to the memory of Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, the creators of Spider-Man.
Sorry to hear about Stan and Steve, Pete.
They were both like a father to me, Wade.
Steve felt like the cool uncle when I first met him. And Steve wasn't too shabby with a pencil.
Sometimes we look back at how far we came thanks to them.
Ever since Captain America Civil War, Spider-Man has been making a huge comeback. He got a return to form in last year's Spider-Man Homecoming, and he returns once more in Avengers Infinity War. He even got a hit PlayStation 4 game, and at that moment, I thought Spider-Man reached his peak of his comeback. I thought it couldn't get any better than this. Boy, was I wrong.
Gosh, don't cops run red lights?
Well, yeah, some do, but not your dad.
Miles Morales has been trying to find his place in life, even after being bitten by a genetically mutated spider. But following the death of his icon Spider-Man, he would run to other Spider-Men and women trying to return home to their respective dimensions.
Spider-Man?
You know, that's funny. I get that a lot.
Hey.
The art style of this movie just amazed me. It felt like a living, breathing comic book from beginning to end. This felt like a refreshing art style compared to many other CGI movies. And on the flip side, it was also one of the funniest movies I've seen this year. It's like the writers really wanted to have some fun with this movie and the Spider-Man mythology.
Nice to meet you.
Sure.
In many ways, I wound up liking Miles Morales. He was trying to find his place in the world even with all those expectations from his parents. He's also a sweet kid who's inspired by the Spider-Man of his universe. And not to cause a bit of a ruckus, but I found his attempt to get used to his new powers to be very funny. Thankfully, he adapts well into being Spider-Man.
How many more spider people are there?
Save it for Comic-Con.
What's Comic-Con?
The other Spider-Men and women were also fun as characters. Peter B. Parker felt like a Spider-Man that fell from grace and became jaded. The Spider-Man Noir felt like a detective ripped from the 1930s. The Spider-Ham is what happens when you make Spider-Man a Looney Tune. Penny Parker's this cute anime girl with the killer robots, and I'm also glad they put in Gwen Stacy as the Spider-Gwen. Remind me to read those Spider-Gwen comics, okay? Also, bonus points goes to this version of Aunt May Parker. She may be sweet and kind as a mentor, but she's also savvy, has a lot of belief in Miles, and can kick some serious butt.
Just let go. Be in the moment.
I am in the moment. It's a terrible moment.
I have this to say about Wilson Fisk, aka the Storm King, or I mean the Kingpin, sorry, wrong animated movie. Much like most other Spider-Man media, the Kingpin is ruthless as a crime lord disguised as an honest businessman. But while he's pulled some nasty stunts in this film, he's also got a soft spot for his family. In fact, it's that very element that drives him to attempt to wreck the multiverse. A tragic story coming from someone who looks like a giant bald version of Donald Trump. Sorry, just had to go there.
Took you long enough.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was the biggest surprise of the year. It celebrates the legacy of Spider-Man, but it also proves you don't need to be a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe just to be great. And personally, this is one film that you should not miss.
Officer, I love you.
Wait, what?
In the end, it was all about giving the audience something to cheer for. We may be different, but we have our own quirks.
Thanks, Wade. That's the best advice I've ever heard since with great power comes great responsibility.
Excelsior!